You used to handle things. A problem came, you dealt with it. Someone pushed, you held your ground. Something broke, you fixed it and moved on. Now look at yourself. A bad email sits in your chest for 3 hours. Someone's tone of voice on a call, and your whole afternoon is poisoned. A single critical comment from someone you don't even respect, and it follows you into sleep. You are not weaker because life got harder. Life got easier. That is exactly the problem. When nothing challenges you, your threshold for pain drops. Slowly, quietly, without you noticing. Until the day you realize that ordinary life, a difficult conversation, a public failure, an unexpected loss, feels like a catastrophe. That day has already come for most men. They just haven't named it yet. The Stoics named it 2,000 years ago, and they built a precise system to reverse it. Not a mindset, not a mood, a structural system for building a mind that holds under any conditions. This is that system. First, understand what happened to you. Your nervous system is always calibrating. It takes the inputs you give it and adjusts your baseline accordingly.
Give it daily discomfort, cold, hunger, conflict, pressure, and it builds tolerance. Give it nothing but comfort, warmth, convenience, and avoidance, and it interprets those as the new normal. Then when reality arrives, and reality always arrives, your system has no capacity to absorb it. The impact that a trained man would process in an hour lives in you for a week. Seneca wrote this to his friend Lucilius almost 2,000 years ago. Most men are never truly tested until something breaks them. And by then it is too late to build the strength they needed. He wasn't talking about physical strength. He was talking about the architecture of the mind under pressure. That architecture is built deliberately, or it is not built at all. Step 1. The separation. Marcus Aurelius woke every morning as the most powerful man on earth. He had armies, enemies, dying children, betraying allies, a crumbling frontier, and a body that was slowly failing him. He wrote this in his private journal, the notes he never intended anyone to read. When you wake, tell yourself, today I will meet people who are rude, ungrateful, arrogant, dishonest, jealous, and unsocial. They are this way because they do not know the difference between good and evil. But I have seen the nature of good, and I will not be harmed by any of them.
This is not optimism. This is not positive thinking. This is a precise cognitive tool. He is drawing a line. On one side, everything outside his control. Other people's behavior, their words, their choices, the events of the day. On the other side, his response, his judgment, his internal state. One side, not his. One side, completely his. Most men today operate as if everything is on the same side. As if what someone says to them and how they feel about it are the same thing. They are not. There is a gap between stimulus and response. The Stoics trained that gap. Here is how this looks in your actual life. Your boss criticizes you in front of the team. You cannot control what he said. You cannot undo it. You cannot change how others perceived it. All of that is outside the line. What is inside the line
whether you let that moment define the next 4 hours of your thinking, whether you carry it home, whether it becomes the story you tell yourself about who you are. Most men hand their entire day to a single moment that is over in 60 seconds. The Stoic does not hand it away. He processes it, places it on the correct side of the line, and continues. This is not coldness. This is structure. Step 2. Voluntary hardship. Seneca was one of the wealthiest men in Rome. He had every comfort available to a human being in the ancient world. And once a month, he stripped all of it away deliberately. He slept on a rough mat, ate the coarsest food available, wore simple clothing. For several days, he lived as a poor man, not because he had to, but because he needed to ask his nervous system a specific question. Is this actually as bad as you fear? The answer, every time, was no.
This is the purpose of voluntary hardship. Not punishment, not performance, calibration. You are resetting your threat response. You are showing your nervous system that the things it has been treating as unbearable, discomfort, hunger, cold, social friction, are survivable, are manageable, are, in fact, nothing. A man who has chosen discomfort cannot be broken by discomfort that arrives without warning, because he has already stood in it. He already knows what it costs. He already knows he survives it. You do not need to sleep on a floor, but you need something hard that you choose every single week. The cold shower you take when every part of you says, "Not today." The meal you skip when food is available and you are not actually hungry. The conversation you have been postponing for 3 weeks because it will be uncomfortable, that you now schedule for tomorrow. The run you take in rain when you could have a reason not to. The specific hardship matters less than the fact that you chose it. That is the entire mechanism. You are training your will to override your comfort. You are proving to yourself, with evidence, that you are not a man who...
You are training your will to override your comfort. You are proving to yourself, with evidence, that you are not a man who is governed by how he feels in the moment. Step 3. Negative visualization. The Stoics practiced a daily exercise of imagining loss, not catastrophizing, deliberate, calm, structured imagination of what they could lose. Their health, their work, their reputation, the people they loved. Not to be depressed by it. The opposite. When you have already sat quietly with the image of losing something, truly sat with it, felt the weight of it, accepted its possibility, the actual event loses most of its power to destroy you. You have already grieved. You have already processed. When it arrives, you are not ambushed. Epictetus understood this at a level most men never reach. He was a slave. He had already lost everything. His freedom, his body, his future. None of it was his. And from that position of total loss, he became the most psychologically free person in Rome.
Because there was nothing left to fear losing. He had already accepted it all. Most men today are ambushed by ordinary life. A job disappears. A relationship ends. A public failure. These are not catastrophes.
They feel like catastrophes because the mind was never prepared for them, was never asked to consider them in advance, was never trained to absorb impact. Prepare it. Spend 5 minutes every morning with the question, what could I lose today? What would I do if I did? Not to invite disaster, to remove its power to paralyze you. Here is what these 3 steps build. Not happiness, not success, not confidence. Stability. An internal structure that does not move when the external world shakes. Marcus Aurelius lost battles, lost sons, lost allies he had trusted for decades. He returned to the same man every time. Not because nothing touched him, because what he had built inside held regardless of what happened outside. That is what is missing in most men today. Not motivation, not a better routine, not more information. A foundation, something underneath that does not shift. Epictetus said it without decoration. No man is for you who is not master of himself.
You know the life you want to build. The relationships, the work, the version of yourself you are capable of becoming. The question is not whether you want it. The question is whether the man you are right now is structurally capable of holding it. A weak foundation does not survive the weight of a large life. Build the foundation. Start today. Not Monday. Not next month. Today. One cold shower. One hard conversation. 5 minutes of sitting with what you could lose. That is where it starts. That is where it has always started.